Welcome to another new redesign behind the scenes exclusive. And today we are going to be analyzing the logo redesign for Athena Muay Thai Academy. Now, I did a video like this not too long ago on a logo refresh. And you may be asking, what is the difference between a logo refresh and a logo redesign? Well, a logo refresh is circumstantial to when the client does not want to overhaul their existing brand to something completely new, but there are improvements to be made to their existing logo design. And so without changing too much of the essence of the original brand, we endeavor to make minor yet compelling improvements to the overall logo design, its functionality, its visibility, its usability. In a logo redesign, it's a more clean slate approach where we start from the foundation of the brand and work our way up into a new, better performing logo design that just works better for the client overall. So let's get into it. This is Athena Muay Thai Boxing and Fitness. This is the old logo that they presented to me when we started working together. Now, I will highlight a few of the things that I noticed about this logo, which determined to me that it was in need of an overhaul. The first thing was that this logo uses some Greek characters. This isn't a big no in the industry. It's okay to get creative with different shapes of characters and even play with different alphabets. But in this case, it added to the busyness of the overall logo, and it wasn't really helping the readability of the design. Even though I understand that Athena being a Greek name and coming from Greek heritage is what brought about the use of the Greek characters, we can still appreciate that intention and also make the decision that it wasn't quite right for this purpose, and that Athena standing alone as a name represents that Greek culture enough that we don't also need to represent it using Greek characters. I also noted that the tagline is rather long, and we decided to rewrite the tagline so that it fit the space better. We also noticed that the symbol is rather busy and that there was room to simplify. So whenever we look at a logo design that has a lot going on and your eye is being pulled in all kinds of different directions, that's a signal that something can be simplified. It also adds a lot of space to the logo. So this was a red flag to me that the symbol was too wide, and it can be made more compact and more condensed so that we can save on precious space. Also, the A was drawn in a very peculiar way where it's actually asymmetrical, and this doesn't really appeal to me as a designer, knowing that I'm going to be compelled to break that A apart from the logo and use it as an insignia. And when I do look at it standalone, without the symmetry, it doesn't quite resonate with me. So I knew that that could be improved as well, and that we could try to achieve some symmetry to make it a really powerful symbol. And then finally, this was a big red flag to me, that the imbalance of the logo offered up a lot of non-usable white space, which means that in any space that this logo is going to be used, it has to shrink to fit that space even more because of how tall that A symbol is and how wide the wings are spanning from the A. It's requiring more space than is necessary. So let's take a look at the new logo and all of the improvements that we made to it. So now we're looking at Athena Muay Thai Academy. This logo has presence, it has power, it's bolder, it has more energy, it actually has movement in the slant to the letters and in the direction of the arrows that are kind of pointing both up and down. It adds lift to the logo. There's a very distinct energy about it, and while also being clean and compact. So let's dissect that a little bit closer. You'll see that when I draw a border around the logo touching every side, there's very little unusable space. And that's because the logo takes up all the space that's allowed, so that now when we have to use this logo in a particular area, it doesn't require a lot of space, and it can actually fill the space better. This is the symmetry I was talking about. We tried to achieve perfect symmetry and evenness of strokes throughout the A symbol, while also maintaining dynamicism so that we had lift, we had movement and energy, but at the core of the symbol, there's perfect symmetry, and for the most part, the strokes follow a similar weight so that when we look at that A on its own, and we will have a chance to do that in a moment, you'll notice how powerful it is as an insignia without all of the other words attached. So now we can do a direct side-by-side comparison of the old logo versus the new logo. So let me ask you these questions. Which of these two brands calls your eye first? It's interesting because even though there's less going on with the redesigned logo, it's cleaner, it's more compact, and it's bolder. And now that we've rewritten the tagline, it fits in the space, and those letters have been able to increase in size as well. Which one is easier to read and recognize right away? And again, specifically looking at the tagline, which one do you think would be easier to read on a sign on a building? And how much confidence does each logo present with? Clean equals confident. A clean logo that's not trying to say too much, and it's not jam-packed with messages. It's not trying to convey every detail of the culture of the business. If it's stripped away to its bare core and it presents as cleanly as possible, that looks confident to me. Busy equals broken. So we can appreciate when we step back and see the old versus the new, how stripping away really does empower a brand. Now let's look at some real life applications for this new logo design. We've applied it to some very basic items such as t-shirts. There's also a really neat design we played with staggering and scale that gives it a little more of a designy look for a lifestyle t-shirt. And we even adopted a secondary version of the logo that focuses on the A as an insignia and kind of looks like a shield of sorts. And this is that same insignia reversed out on a white t-shirt. And because this is a Muay Thai Academy, Thai shorts are a traditional element of the clothing, the attire that the athletes will wear. And so we designed some custom shorts that the client will have made that is embellished in so many different ways, creatively using the new brand and bringing that new logo design to the forefront. And finally, this is an integral piece of any boxing gym, and that is the boxing glove. So you'll see that we played with another custom design here, pairing the white and the black and the gold being the three main colors of the brand, and scaling up, scaling down, using different versions of the Athena logo, as well as their tagline on the thumb. On the inside wrist, you'll see that circular version of the logo again with the big A insignia, a very nice detail. So all these little details make the brand stronger, and they help people that follow and really subscribe to this brand feel like they're part of a tribe. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of New Breed Design's behind the scenes logo redesign process. Hopefully you learned something from it today. Hopefully this gets you looking at your own brand through a new lens and opens up a conversation with a designer that you might know about perhaps endeavoring into improving on your logo design or even embarking into a logo refresh. Thanks so much, and reach out anytime you want to have a second opinion on your brand. I'm happy to do free consultations. You can find me at newbreed.design. Take care.